Welcome to another episode of ARWP, the All Real Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Eric Novak, and today we have another special guest. He is Hyperstreak. Enjoy the video. I know you will.
Yo, what's going on? Eric, thanks for having me, man.
Of course, man. Of course. We're really happy to have you. We're big fans.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. So tell us, the first question would be, tell us how you got into the ring. What was the first experience of yours in a wrestling ring?
First experience in a wrestling ring. So that would have come back in 2009 when I first started training with Jesse Hernandez at the School of Hard Knocks in San Bernardino, California. Sorry, it's been 10 years. I forgot about it a little bit. But yeah, my first experience, I found the School of Hard Knocks because a lot of the people that I was a big fan of, because I was such a huge fan of PWG. So I loved like Scorpio Sky and Rocky Romero and TJ Perkins and a couple of those guys. They trained with Jesse. But really, like anybody who came out of SoCal has trained with Jesse at some point in some way, probably. So I was like, okay, if I want to be a wrestler, if I want to do the thing, then I got to go to School of Hard Knocks. Like, that's all I got to do. So when I got the chance, at the time, I was 18. I just graduated high school. And even though I'm from California, my family had moved to Louisiana when I was really young. Mm-hmm. So after I graduated high school, I was like, I'm getting the hell up out of here. Louisiana sucks. Like, so I just packed up all my stuff, hopped in my car. Actually, my mom came with me just to make sure I got the trip done, everything safe, because I had never been to San Bernardino in my life. Mm. So we went out to San Bernardino together, met up with Jesse Hernandez, who introduced me to C. Edward Vanderpyle, who was going to be my roommate, who kind of took in the wrestlers, because at the time it was the NWA house. So there was a ratty, kind of like dirty, in the ghetto house in San Bernardino up the street from where the school was. And that's where I lived. And that's where like all the international wrestlers would come in and they would come stay with us. So it was a really cool experience. And I think I got a lot of good opportunities, a lot of great training and knowledge because I got to be in that house. Like, had I not been there, I don't know what would have happened to me, because there it was all wrestling all the time. You're with the wrestlers, you're at the training, you were talking about wrestling. Even like if I wasn't on a show, they were probably on a show. So I had to drive them to the show, or I was going with somebody to the show. So for like 9 months, just about every weekend, I was involved in a show somewhere in Southern California.
All right, that's fascinating. Tell me, what made you want to do wrestling? What made you wake up and decide that's what you're going to follow?
SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. The game SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. My Nana rented it for me and my best friend when we were like 14. Because like everybody, you're into wrestling as a kid, but I kind of fell out of it for a little while, for a couple of years there, and started just doing other stuff, like watching cartoons and just other things, kid stuff. Yeah. And then once we rented that game, it just like, it kind of came over me all over again. So I was like, oh man, Here Comes the Pain. This game is amazing. I played it all the time, hours and hours and hours. Then after that, I started watching wrestling on TV again. I was like, oh damn, this is really cool. I really like wrestling again. But I think when it really hit for me is when I found wrestling on the internet. So when I found YouTube, when I found Ring of Honor, when I found PWG, CZW, all those big indies, and I saw these indie guys that I never heard of before. They were traveling all over the world, and they were in Japan and China and Germany and Mexico. I was like, oh, I want to travel the world. I want to wrestle. And they weren't the big guys, because like even myself, I'm like 5'9", 160, 170 on a good day if I'm lucky. But I just didn't see myself when I looked at the Big Show or Booker T or John Cena, but I could see a Rocky Romero. I'm like, yeah, that guy's like me. And they were just so incredible. Like they were just so different. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. That's where I want to be.
All right. Awesome. Tell me why the mask. Is it, I know when wrestlers wear masks, it's a style of lucha libre. It's a culture. What made you decide to wear a mask?
A couple of different reasons. One of them being I love lucha libre coming up. I'm not any kind of Mexican heritage, just all black, but I loved lucha libre. I'm a huge fan of CMLL, and I actually did get a chance to train in Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre from 2015 to 2016 when I was staying in Mexico City. and just this deep fascination. And I really wanted to try to find myself into a character that would differentiate me. Because when we were wrestling at FSW about 10 years ago, you had guys like Remy Marcel and Jack Manley, and some of the guys that were the most interesting, that were the most acquired, or most people that were into, they had a character. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of driven into us by Remy and Michael Modest and all the other Disco Inferno, all the other trainers was like character. You need some kind of character.
Yeah.
And I was just myself, and I didn't have a mask. I don't feel like I really had much character. I was just another indie guy. So I kind of came up with this. To me, it's going to show off a lot of things I love, from lucha libre to aviation to like some anime influence, because a lot of times in anime you have the characters with goggles, and it's just kind of a different look. It was something cool to put on top of the zany kind of outrageous cartoon character that I like to be.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. See, my next question would have been like, why the pilot? Like, it definitely looks like an old pilot's helmet kind of thing. But no, I like what you did, because I see the goggles, and you're right. A lot of anime. I'm a huge anime fan, and a huge comic fan, and then video game fan, and I can tell exactly what look you're going for, and I get it, and I love it. It's never been done before. I think it's amazing. Now, tell me just, the way of creating it. How did you create it? What was the inspiration to create it, and why? You explained it's your favorite two things combined, aviation, anime. But tell me how just the idea came into your head to make something like that.
It's kind of like you're saying. Like, I just saw the aviator mask, the aviator helmet, and I was like, what if I just kind of put it into a mask? And there's a guy in California. His name blanks on me, but he makes all the masks and a lot of the gear for a lot of the wrestlers in California. Very well known. I'm forgetting his name. I feel so bad about it. I haven't seen him in a while, because his mask actually lasted long.
You're not the first person.
So I've had this one. What's that?
You're not the first person who's like, oh, I forgot my creator.
I just brought the idea to him and told him what I would have liked, and he actually kind of basically nailed it on the first try, like the right colors, the right design, and everything like that. To me, it's like a simple idea, but I have had two other people try it, and they just didn't hit the mark that I liked, so I don't even kind of bother their mask, unfortunately. But the way that it came out and everything, it came out just the way I wanted it. So I just kind of went off the basic idea of like just the goggles and then the helmet, and just put it all together, and boom, there it is. And I didn't really want to change anything else. I didn't want to put anything extra on it, because I felt like it just wasn't going to come through correctly.
All right. Are we going to see anything, updated in the near future after the pandemic is over? Are you going to go with a different color style? Are we going to see like a different look for you coming out?
In the mask?
Yeah, like maybe green, red, I know you have a white one, and I'm a big fan of that. The one where you did like the whole, I don't know if it was a heel turn, but you had like that little, Joker kind of gimmick. Remember that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's funny because that was the last FSW show that I was on, was when we got to debut that. That was me and my partner, Eli Quick. Basically, the idea is that we've been pushed so far because we've been attacked by the Unguided, and we got attacked by Lights Camera Faction, and we're not winning these matches. And all these things just kind of pushed us to the other side, essentially. So on the other side, that's like my berserk. So that's actually what I've been calling it. Berserk. It's Berserk Hyperstreak. When I've just taken too much, and half of me just is painted white with the red blood like that, or the blood red. I think it's a really cool idea, and I was really looking forward to going forward with it. But then, pandemic hit. So hopefully once the pandemic is over, we can jump back into that, because me and Eli had some really cool ideas, and we were just really looking forward to get out there and, like you said, be able to do something a little bit different, because I did notice that I have been wearing the same mask for 5 years now, and I haven't been able to give people like anything new. So when the opportunity came around, I was like, yeah, this is a dope idea. I really like this. And I really started rocking with it and started playing with it and seeing what I could do. I wasn't even done. There was more stuff that I wanted to do. There was more stuff I wanted to come with Eli with, and like, what if we did like this? We're going to try to figure out new things to change up our look and change up our style, like make ourselves really stand out, especially in such a stacked division as our tag division in FSW right now.
All right, yeah, man. I mean, I'm a huge FSW fan. A lot of the guys that I got on the pod are almost all part of FSW, and
I noticed.
yeah, I love it. I think FSW is the only promotion / school that is as a level as a company could be. Like their mechas on Fight TV are incredible. It's like better than most pay-per-views I've been watching in other wrestling companies. It's definitely something that I really hope gets bigger and bigger as time goes by. But this question is mainly for me. It's it's one of those things where it's like I interviewed the Unguided recently, both members, and is it not the same? Are you guys not like on the same boat? Because you both have that style that we were pushed to the edge. Fans didn't appreciate us. We're done being the guys people go for. We want to be our versions. So is it like, are you guys not any different from each other in that aspect?
No, we're very different from each other. They have way more attitude than we do. Well, the Unguided, they're about getting the respect. Me and Eli, we're about fighting back. We're just trying to defend ourselves. And it's kind of driven us a little bit crazy, Them, to me, they have a message. They have a sight. Whereas we don't really have a sight. We're just out there swinging fists because that's what we do. We're just throwing our bodies at people. We're swinging our fists at people. We're just kind of swinging wildly, whereas they have a direct line of what they want. They have an idea and a mission to accomplish, whereas we're just kind of like two wild men who've been thrown together and trying to fight the world.
All right, so here's a question, and you need to think about it. What's a bigger threat? Guys that are just fighting, the world, or guys that have a plan and a mission that they want to succeed in? What's a bigger of a threat?
I mean, there's always something to be said about dudes that are on a mission, but two dudes with nothing to lose who will throw everything at you, I don't know, man. That's scary because them dudes, I don't know what they're going to do. Because whatever they come up with, they're probably just going to try it. Well, is it good for them? Is it good for you? Who's it going to hurt? They don't care. They're just going to throw it out there. Whereas the Unguided, like they have a mission, and they're trying to stay on target. They have things that they want to accomplish, so they don't want to go outside of that, But us, we don't care, man. We're just trying to get there, We're just trying. That other side is really taking control of us, and we're just we're going with it.
All right, awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing more. I'm hoping, as things clear out, FSW gets even bigger, the mechas get bigger, and there are more matches, more tag matches. That's probably the number one concern in wrestling right now. The tag team wrestling is slowly dying, or people believe it's slowly dying. So it's a good thing we have tag teams like you guys, like the Unguided, that are making this, a main story, a main topic to talk about. So my next question is, with the pandemic going over, a lot of wrestlers from FSW and non-FSW are being taken to companies, including one of your own, Chris Bay, who's now on Impact Wrestling. And I know he's one of your friends. So tell me, if I offered you a contract for every company, let's make it easy. Every small company. We'll make it Impact, ROH, NWA, MLW, and CMLL. Which one would you go for first?
That's a question. That is a question.
Hey man, you knew you were doing this?
Only the small fries, eh? I can't have any of the big ones.
That's
I got a few more years before I can get one of those.
I feel like the independent scene are gonna get the small ones first. I don't think WWE is looking for independent wrestlers. AW maybe, but we're not gonna get there yet.
Maybe. We don't know. I don't know. I mean, Impact's pretty cool. Impact I like a lot. Everybody was a big fan of Impact, of TNA wrestling back in the day. MLW now has, a contract with Dragon Gate, so that's pretty cool. I like Dragon Gate. It's all a good time. Yeah, so those probably be my two picks, if anything.
All right. Now coming into the game field, you were...
now coming into the
now
game
it's coming
field.
in, because that's the big field.
We're coming in.
Do you want to start in the big league, or do you want to reach the big league? How do you want to...
I thought I was in the big leagues now. This is the big leagues?
FSW is the biggest league it could get in. It's House of Glory is right around the corner. You got Amazing Red, you got talent over there. You guys are the main big league. But companies that look at FSW, that's fresh meat. Right now you're like, it's like saying this. You're in middle school, you're the senior, but there's a high school, and then you're back to the bottom, It's one of those things. So you're in the senior year, you're in the biggest independent place you could be, but when a company comes to you, you gotta start off small to get there. Like, look at AJ Styles, look at Ricochet. They all came from nowhere to get to the top.
They did.
So for you, what will be the main course? Will it be AEW? Will it be WWE? New Japan?
New Japan. It's always been the dream, always since day one. But I mean, not since day one, but when I found out about New Japan, it's been the dream for like the past 10 years. Every day I work, every training course, every wrestling show, every mile, everything to get me closer to New Japan or Japan just in general. It's the biggest dream that I've ever had, and we're working on getting there every single day.
Awesome. That's one of the most unique answers I've ever got, because everyone says, what do you think everyone says is like the main company they want to go to?
McDonald's.
You're close. WWE, very close. Almost.
It's like the McDonald's of wrestling.
That's why you're like, very, very close.
Yep, I'm right there.
I'm a huge New Japan fan. I love New Japan. I stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning to just watch the Wrestle Kingdom. I don't sleep when it comes to New Japan. So for you to say New Japan, I'm dying to see that. New Japan is one of the most amazing companies out there. Who are a few guys you want to get in the ring with, and why?
Probably because he comes to my mind immediately, Satoshi Kojima, just because he's one of my favorite wrestlers ever.
All right.
I think he's the man. He's just so awesome. Kojima would be tight. Bushi, basically just anybody with LIJ. LIJ is
everybody
like the LIJ. Best.
You're going after the hardest guys right now, the guys that hold all the gold.
Yeah, of course.
All right, I get it. Like, you want to fight everybody.
Fight young lions all day? There's no time for that. We ain't got enough time for small fries.
All right, man. Hey, man. Chaos is around the corner.
Big man only.
All right.
Big man only.
I'm going to tell Okada he has to go to the back of the line.
Big man.
I'm going to tell Okada he has to go back in the line because he's not LIJ.
Exactly. Tell him.
All right. That's awesome.
I'll fight him too.
What about Ospreay? Is he not good enough for you?
He's all right.
He's all right. I'll tell him you said that now. All right. Tell me, what we could see next coming from FSW, because we talked about a little bit of it. What do you have planned in the way? Yeah. I want to know. This is the first scoop. This is like TMZ right now. I'm gonna put this all over the web. So what's next? What is next in FSW?
Right now, man, this is such a Joe DeFalco question. I'll have to call him Joe DeFalco and ask him. I don't run I don't run FSW, right?
I know, but I want to know if you have anything planned. A lot of wrestlers are sitting ducks, but are you gonna have something planned coming in? Because FSW, the problem and it's a problem with every company. It's not just FSW. Over roster, they have a huge roster, and you got to take place. Man,
there's just been an explosion of wrestling. I knew the secret that the world didn't seem to know a decade ago, that wrestling was the greatest thing on earth. And people didn't seem to recognize that shit. But about 5 years ago or something like that, it just kind of exploded. And now you got wrestling schools all over the place and wrestlers all over the place. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to be the champion. And the crazy thing is that there's so many cats that are so goddamn good. Like Chris Bay came out of nowhere. I remember meeting Chris Bay on his first day. And 3 years later, he's made event shows. He's killing it all over the country. He's Impact superstar, like that. So for me, it's just to stay on target and to stay on top. Because if I stop working, dudes are going to run right past me, Like, I got to work every single day. I got to do something. Because if I don't, dudes are going to run right past me because there's so many of them and they're so good, So I just got to work hard. Coming in, I'm gonna hit the ground running like I always do, Gotta go fast, gotta go hard, because if I don't, then I get caught. And if I get caught, then I'm in the back of the line, and I ain't trying to be in the back of the line. So I'm gonna grab Eli. If he ain't ready, I'm gonna put him on the back, and we're gonna run to the front of the line, because I ain't gonna be in the back of the line. That ain't for me. You know?
All right. You know what you gotta do? And I don't want to see it. If you do it, it'll be like a special message. You gotta come out to the Sonic X theme song when you have your
Oh,
entrance.
gotta go
You
fast.
gotta, you gotta come out to that theme song, and then I'll be like, ah, now he means business. All right.
Always been good.
Tell me the biggest moment in wrestling that happened to you. Tell me one moment in a wrestling ring, a wrestling match. It could be anywhere, but it has to be a moment where time stood still for you.
Stood still.
Yeah.
That's a big picture. That's some movie shit.
Hey, man. You got a problem with that?
I mean, no, I like it. I like big budget action movie Avengers type shit. That's cool. I mean, I wasn't wrestling, but when we got to be a part of the AEW Double or Nothing last year, that was pretty absurd.
Were you? I think you could tell us. I'm pretty sure it's time you could tell us. Were you one of? Why are you doing that? Don't come. I think I can
Were you?
ask.
Were you?
Were you? No, I'm asking specifically you. There's only one guy I'm pointing at. You. Were you one of the masked guys? I'm not gonna give the name. I'm not gonna say the name because I'm gonna make kayfabe still real.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, sure. I'm sure everyone's seen Double or Nothing, but I posted on my Instagram last year, shortly after Double or Nothing. Yeah, we were part of
Dark Order.
the Dark Order. I forgot.
I already knew. I didn't want to make kayfabe.
They're Canadian. They'll be all right. Yeah, I got to come out with the Dark Order, and we kind of like put the beat down, and we did all their stuff, and we made the Human Throne and all that, and just to be out there in that energy. To me, I always loved independent wrestling. When I'm in front of a crowd of like 100 people, 300 people, maybe 500 people on a bigger show or something like that. That's cool to me. You know, I like that intimate setting. I like going to a show with like 75, 90, 100 people, 120 people that are just really gung-ho about it. And they're really into what's going on, and they're all having such a great time. You can like really be in that room with them. But to be there that night in that ring with all those people going wild, like that electricity was so real. So for me, I got to feel something on a whole different level that night that I didn't even know existed. And I've been just really motivated and pushed by that ever since. So now when I think about that moment, that's definitely like a kind of a time stand still type moment where I'm like, damn, this is what it's really like to be in front of 12,000, 13,000 people and feel that electricity and feel that energy. And like, okay, yeah, I understand. Like, I love what I do. I love indie wrestling. I love going out there in front of like small audiences. I love working all the different type of venues. Like, you never really know. Maybe it's an actual venue. Maybe it's like some dude's grandma's backyard and you got to change in the kitchen or something like that. But to be there that night in front of all those people was really extraordinary. And that's a feeling I don't think I could ever forget.
All right. Awesome. You know, it will always be a moment that the first ever, Double or Nothing, the first ever time they even showed the Dark Order, you were a part of that.
That was a big black guy in the back. That was me. Those shoulders.
I'm gonna rewatch it, and I'm gonna be like, I see him.
Check those goddamn shoulders. It was popping.
I gotta know. Only because I want to embarrass them. When I upload this, who was the ones that had to take the worst spot? The ones that had to be the human chair.
I actually don't know. I didn't know that guy. I didn't know that guy. There was a handful of us. I think it was one of our students.
All right. Was that the largest crowd you'd say you worked at? That was the largest crowd?
Yeah, that's the largest crowd I've ever performed in front of. The largest crowd I've ever been in front of, I should say.
I think you performed. If you punched the guy, you performed. I'm gonna
give it to you. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you. Let's not make that any lower than it was. All right. Tell me the least amount of people you've ever worked in. The least amount of people you've ever had a show in. Was it a birthday party? A school?
I did actually do a birthday party a couple of months ago. Yeah. We have a great fan out here in the FSW. He's been a fan for a long time. His name's Matt Brooks. Shout out to Matt Brooks. He always comes through for his birthday party. I think he's like 47 now. And I want to say the last time we did his birthday party, there might have been like 9 people in the audience. So that might have been one of the smallest ones. Equally small, several years ago in California, we drove out like 9 hours because a buddy of ours was on the show. So me and another guy were riding in the car with him, just doing the indie wrestling thing, just trying to get on the show. Get on the show. We're like the pre-show match. There's like 7 people out there. You can hear distinctly, like when somebody heckles you, you're like, okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'll work on it. So there was like 7 guys. There was like 7 people. There's like one guy. He's like, that sucked. I'm like, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can, man. I'm like a year in. Give me a break. I think we got paid in McDonald's ice cream that night.
Really?
So
ice cream. Yeah. Not even the fries. Yeah. Not even the best meal.
No, it's just a coupon for McDonald's ice cream. So that's what we got for all of our hard work and diligence and skill and ability. Here's some ice cream for McDonald's. Well, it was goddamn good. It was good ice cream.
You should have known. You should have known to argue with them to make a little bit of a exchange. The fries. That's the Szechuan sauce. Did you at least get the Szechuan sauce?
No, it wasn't back yet. This was years before Rick and Morty. This was years before.
All right, I'm just gonna pretend like it wasn't a bigger deal than what you're making it out to be. All right, I'm just gonna pretend. All right,
I've been.
What were some inspirations for you growing up? You said the game was your biggest inspiration to wrestling, but what were the actual people that inspired your character?
Wait, which game? It's very important.
Every game. I can tell you're a gamer. I can tell you play Nintendo, you play Switch. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. I do not own a Switch.
You don't own a Switch?
Not.
A GameCube. You're a GameCube guy. A GameCube.
What? The 2004? What are you talking about?
GameCube. Yeah, I had a GameCube. No, I got. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
Here comes the pain, because it was the greatest wrestling game of all time.
I'm gonna say it, but you better not, disrespect me. I'm an Xbox guy. Are you an Xbox guy?
No.
Hang up. Goodbye. Interview is over. The interview.
Hey, listen though, because you remember the Red Ring of Death, right?
You're losing my patience here, my good
you
sir.
Remember the Red Ring of Death, right?
You're losing my patience here, sir.
You remember the Red Ring of Death? This little thing that said, hey, you're not going to have no fun today. I know you just bought this game, but there will be no fun had today. That was it. That was the Red Ring of Death. I sold my entire PlayStation 2 collection and my PlayStation 2 to buy an Xbox 360 that gave me the Red Ring of Death for 3 years and just collected dust.
I will tell you, sir, that I had a PlayStation originally, and that thing died on me. I went to GameStop. Whoever got my old PlayStation, I'm very sorry. I gave away my broken PlayStation for a brand new Xbox. So I won. I'm a winner at the end of this.
Fair enough.
All right. So the question was basically, tell me the inspiration, the characters. So I want some anime characters, because I'm a good anime guy. Fullmetal Alchemist is my shit. I want some anime characters, and I want some wrestlers, and I want a little bit of everything. So who inspired you? Give me some names.
Some names. Any names? Just like a name, like
names.
David?
I want the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers involved in this too. I want everything in this. All pop culture
I'm not
references.
A Power Ranger guy. You gotta go talk to Damian Drake again. He's Power.
I'll go back to him and talk about it.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll love to talk to you about Power Rangers and something.
All right. Fair enough.
As for me, as far as characters are concerned, actually Star-Lord was an important one to me. When I came up with Hyperstreak, I really thought of that scene in the first Guardians of the Galaxy where he says his name and they're like, Star-Lord? I kind of wanted a similar effect when someone said my name. I was like, Hyperstreak. I'm like, Hyperstreak?
All right. Like, who the hell is this guy? All right.
Yeah, but then you come through, and as long as you bring it, then you can bring it. It doesn't matter what their name's, Joe, John, whatever it is. If you can bring it, you can bring it. That's all that matters.
All right.
As far as wrestling characters were concerned, though, probably my biggest influence would be Masato Yoshino from Dragon Gate, the Speed Star. I go fast because Speed Star goes fast. I run because he runs. When I first saw Masato Yoshino and Dragon Gate and those guys and that beautiful fusion of like Japanese strong style and lucha libre together, I was like, this is it. That's like the coolest thing ever. Kenny Omega was also an early influence for me because, like I said, I was a big anime fan. And when I saw a guy come out and he's doing like the anime girl thing, and he's doing Hadoukens and Kamehamehas, and I was like, oh, and he's amazing. I was like, this is the guy. Like, I love this guy. He's like one of my favorite wrestlers now. It may not show a whole lot, but TJ Perkins was always a huge influence on me. I love chain wrestling and I love wrestling. I came from a jiu-jitsu, judo background, so a lot of grappling I did when I was a kid. So when I see somebody who's like really adept at grappling, I just kind of go towards them. And as far as I was always concerned, like TJ was always the best at it. Mm-hmm. It's just his skill and his finesse and the ease at which he works with, it's incredible. Other guys, Aerostar always dug his look and how you could do things differently. Mm-hmm. Give me a second, because I actually made a list of like all the guys that influenced me when not just coming up in this gimmick, but just coming up in wrestling. So it would have been Scott Lost, Scorpio Sky, TJ Perkins, Kenny Omega, Paul London, Brian Kendrick, Aerostar, Masato Yoshino, of course. Now Michi Marufuji, who I always thought was just one of the best wrestlers on earth. At the time when I was just a wrestling fan, I'm always a wrestling fan, always have been, always will be. But at the time, Kenta was like the man. Kenta was the guy in Ring of Honor at the time and in Noah. But to me, like, as great as he was, Marufuji was just that much better. And their series of matches, their rivalry, that really turned me on to wrestling. I was like, oh, this is wrestling. That's wrestling. Like when those guys go in there and they fight it out and it's all heart and it's all ability and they're just doing all these crazy things. That's what I was all about. So Marufuji is always going to be one of my favorite wrestlers ever.
All right. This is my fault because I'm a bad interviewer. I just found out, I didn't mention Dragon Gate. I didn't mention Dragon Gate at all. Would you like to go to Dragon Gate? Is that something you'd like to do? Of course,
yeah. That's a dream come true. And like I said, I get to be around one of my favorite wrestlers ever. One of my biggest inspirations in Masato Yoshino. That would definitely be a thing when we all went to OWE in China. That was one of my driving forces for going to OWE. Like going to China, because I love traveling. I never thought I would ever wind up in China. Someone comes along and is like, hey, man, we're going to bring you out to China. We're going to let you wrestle, and SEMA's going to be there. I'm like, bitch, I'll be there twice. And I went 3 times. 3 times. I went 3 tours of China with OWE. And SEMA is a great guy, and he is just as much of a legend as he turns out to be. Like it's crazy to like tour around with him, and like when we go to Taiwan and see all the respect that he gets from those people, and how people will fly into Taiwan from Japan just to see him perform. So that was crazy, and being able to train alongside those guys, because those Dragon Gate guys, they just work at a different level. They're so incredible. So being able to wrestle with Dragon Gate, and a lot of the people that I believe are like some of the most talented wrestlers in the world, El Generico, Kevin Steen, the Young Bucks, there's so many cats that came through Dragon Gate, and no one really kind of gives those Dragon Gate the credit, because they were incredible, but once they went to Dragon Gate, that made them that much better,
All right. No, I hear you.
I also forgot to mention El Generico was a huge inspiration of mine, clearly.
Who?
What did you say? Who on El Generico?
I'm joking. Sami Zayn's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Let's go to our final 2 questions. I love how it's end right at the end of it, literally. But you still never answered. I want to know what anime you like, man. What's your favorite anime, or what are some honorable mentions?
Favorite honorable mentions? I actually just rewatched Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay.
That was just an amazing anime, and I just rewatched it just because like I had the time, and to me it's like the best first episode of any anime ever. All right. Like you just come in, just like, guess what, Yusuke's dead. You're like, wait, what? And then but my favorite animes would be like Fooly Cooly all the time. I love Fooly Cooly. That was something I grew up on and watched like several times over. Gurren Lagann, really love that one. Hajime no Ippo. It's a boxing anime that's really great. there was something just recently I just watched. I know I'm watching a lot of My Hero Academia. Like that's got me folks every single episode right there. Bang, bang, bang. Demon Slayer I just got into, and that was really great anime. Man, there's just so many. I've watched a lot. I've watched a lot.
All right, we got it. You watched every anime. I get it. Are you gonna watch?
Oh.
Are you gonna binge watch all of Avatar: Last Airbender officially now on Netflix?
Oh, it's coming on Netflix. Oh,
It's all on Netflix. All of it's already on Netflix.
I'll probably give that a rewatch. That was a really great show. I really enjoyed it when I was a kid. I just kind of randomly happened upon it, and turned out some of my friends were fans of it. So I had somebody to talk about it with. Every now and then I find somebody that likes it, but yeah, that's a good show too.
All right, here's the big one for you. Here's the final question. It's one that means the most to me. All right.
I know.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Maybe. I'm adequately prepared.
Is Teen Titans an anime?
What's that?
Is Teen Titans an anime? Think about that while I'm chewing on my Twizzler.
You got some Twizzler out there.
Yeah, Twizzler, yeah. Mango candy.
Do you drink through that too? Because again, it can't be a straw. It can't be. Have you ever tried that?
If you bite off the two ends, yeah, then it's a straw.
Oh, all right. I mean, if it wants to be, it had the cool anime opening that they actually did do in Japanese too. I remember finding that a couple of times watching that. They had a really anime style. I remember being really into Teen Titans when I was a kid. So yeah, if Teen Titans wants to be an anime, I don't see why the hell not.
All right, because that's a big controversy between Teen Titans. People say it's a cartoon, an American-based cartoon, or it could be an anime. No one really knows. At this point, no one really knows. But what about you? Did you like Teen Titans? Because you said you were a fan of it back then. Why aren't you a fan of it now? If I gave you the whole show,
I wasn't a fan now. It's still great.
Okay, good.
It's always good.
Good. I just want to have eye to eye on this. You know what I mean? Who was your favorite character?
I don't think I had one. I liked the whole crew. The whole crew was good. There is not a bad one in the bunch. Even Tara was pretty tight.
What is your favorite episode?
The Brother Blood episodes where Cyborg has to go undercover and infiltrate the Brother Bloods, the Hive organization, and try to fight all of them from the inside. That one was always really cool.
All right. I'm happy we got all that out of our systems. All right. I'm happy we got all of that out. All right. Where can we get your merch? Anything when it comes to merch?
Of course. I have a great shirt done by my good friend Ray Basura of Basura Paint. He's actually designing a lot of really great shirts. So he's done one for Shaggy McLovin, Lazarus, a couple other friends that really look awesome. They came out incredible. I think J Cafe as well. Macho Mouse, yeah, he's great. So on Instagram, I'm probably going to be putting up a bundle soon, so that if you want to buy the shirt, the keychain, the button, a personalized card, you can do that. Also, my pro wrestling tee should be up in the next week or so.
All right,
so
we got a pro wrestling tees up in here. Okay, we got Big Shot right here. It's a Big Shot. I like that.
Oh, big things.
I like that. I like big stuff coming out. Are we gonna get replica masks? What's happening with that? What if I want?
I've been working on that for years. I have to get back to Mexico. That's my big thing. I have to get back to Mexico, and that was going to be the plan for me to go back to Mexico and make that happen. But the pandemic happened, and now, I can't go anywhere.
Got it. All right, where can people find you on social media?
On Instagram, you can find me at Hyperstreak GS. On Twitter, you can find me at I'm Old Greg Sharp. I know it's very confusing, but I like that handle, so I'm going to keep it. I don't care what you say, J Cafe. I'm going to keep it at I'm Old Greg Sharp on Twitter. I'm very inactive. Just follow me on Instagram. At Hyperstreak GS. I might post, I might not. We'll see what happens.
Also, if you DM him, you'll wait a few days and then you get a response back. It's not right away. All right. Enough busting balls. All right, man. All right. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. You were a delight, man. And, anything you want to tell the fans before we cut it off?
Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, and hope to see you all soon. Yeah.
All right, awesome. This is the ARWP podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Wow, what an awesome video. Again, I am so honored to find independent wrestlers that are as entertaining, as phenomenal as the ones that you watch on TV. These are the future stars of today. And I have some more videos planned for the future. I have big plans coming up this week, this Tuesday, big interview. I have an interview coming up. I'm not going to say it yet. I'll announce it on social media. If you don't follow me on social media, please follow me. All my information is in the bio below. All my accounts, everything. I will follow back. Thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.